Okay, good morning. It's another one of my little pro bono fix-up videos. This is Home Designer Pro 2014. The end user was kind enough to share the plan with me. And I've already looked it over, and I didn't save what I did, so I could kind of start over. But I didn't want to fumble around while everybody watched. So this is kind of sort of rehearsed. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is turn off some of this clutter. It's clutter for what I'm going to be doing anyway. Hit the T key to go to the T's. I'm going to turn off terrain things. I don't need them showing in plan view. All right. Okay, so the problem complained of was got this area here. I suggested that he take this and make sure that the ceiling was turned off, and it is turned off. This is supposed to be a clear story area. Let's just take a look at that to orient people looking at this who are not familiar with it. We'll do a cross section through here. And there's a clear story area. Here's the first floor. There's the second floor. There's supposed to be no floor, no ceiling here. The ceiling's up here for this second story room. Okay, but over here, I'm going to change these tool icons to something I'm comfortable with. So yeah, I always use the parent-child. It was the way it originally was back in version 4 when I started, and I kind of got used to it. You can still set it however you want. Now we'll take a camera view here, and you'll see that there's something here. And I checked wall definitions, I checked room definitions, and so forth. The only thing that I found that worked was I use this tool here, adjust material definition, just to find out what the material was that's showing that's not supposed to be there. And then I checked the dialog box for the room, and went to materials and found out, well, where's, so yeah, okay, it's cantilever underside. I'm not even sure what this means. They added this layer a couple of versions ago, and I never bothered to find it out because it doesn't give me any trouble. But I tried setting that to opening no material, and that didn't solve it. I don't think it'll solve it now that I'm recording it either. If it does, well, then I'll be surprised. Yeah. It's still there, still stubbornly there, and so this white is not coming from the room dialog box. So ceiling covering, okay, there's white. This is something I tried before unsuccessfully, to set it to opening no material. Opening no material shows in vector view cameras, but it doesn't show in render cameras like this. Well, it's still there. I'm just doing it again to show you that it's something I tried and it didn't work. We'll go to a vector view camera, and it's still there. You can use this tool here temporarily, delete surface. It doesn't delete it from the model, it just deletes it out of the camera view, and that's what he wanted. Switch back over to render camera. So this is the condition we want to end up with, but this is only a temporary solution, this delete surface thing. It's handy for like getting rid of 3D surfaces temporarily for various purposes. When you delete surfaces in a camera view, you want to bring them back, and you just left click on the camera icon, and it brings them back one layer at a time. So that's not a real solution. So it's still there. And new users don't like to hear this, but I've been using this software for 18 years, and I've seen this over and over and over again. And I think before I shoot you full of holes, let me also say I think you've done really well. This model's, it's a nice model, it's a nice design. It's just riddled with errors. You look at it, it doesn't even look all of that apparent. I think you did a good job. But there's certain things, and they tend to accumulate and add up and make a model unstable and develop unwanted behavior. Like this roof plane here should not be divorced from this roof plane, or excuse me, this roof plane. This one and this one should be the same one. Not two separate roof planes, but being a new user, that wouldn't be something that you would know. I'll cover that a little bit later. But there's all kinds of errors in the roof. You see this little line here with the perpendicular on it? That's the baseline of a roof plane. And 99.9% of the time, these baselines are supposed to be on the outside edge of framing so that the structural load gets delivered there. Now, I'm not an engineer, but that's the way this software is designed. Like this baseline here is in the right place for this porch roof plane. That's correct. This one is incorrect. And let's see, let me go to this floor. Yeah, see, there's a baseline there. Lord knows, and this baseline's way out here. It should be over here. And a new user wouldn't know that. That's the reason I wrote a book about manual roof editing, and that's something I stressed. But that's not the major problem here. It's just there's a number of things being done that the software is not designed to do. Like this, here's this roof plane here, and this one should be the same roof plane. Now the way you'd fix that, I'll just go ahead and fix it. So you can see it. I'm going to put a break here in this rear plane, put another break right there, and then I'm going to overwrite this one in the front. Just bring that out like that. Whoops, I need a pivot point right there. You break it again. I'm going to leave the other roof plane in place just so I can trace over it. Drag that. I'm just left clicking and dragging and then using the brake tool to put in the geometry. Okay. Now this front plane, roof plane that you had, see if I can get it. Yeah, there it is. I'll delete that one. And it's not directly connected with your open below problem, but when I see it after the look over on this plan, that there's a number of things, and they kind of add up. Like these are bad connections. See those white plates? Those aren't supposed to be there. And this didn't add up to fixing your open below problem. But this is the sort of thing I'm talking about that new users are not real aware of. And little inconsistencies, roof joints that aren't properly connected, walls that are not quite straight or properly connected one to another. They add up to instability in the model, and it starts doing things that it's not supposed to do, and it just seems inexplicable. And maybe the software shouldn't be as delicate as it is, but nevertheless, there you have it. See, here's another one. That one's not properly connected. Just as roof planes, I've already established that the roof base lines, most of them are in the wrong place. But it's working. You don't have to have 3D model perfection in order to get good construction documents and get something built. There's a bad valley there. Sticks out like a sore thumb in my practiced eye because those things should be nice and clean. Okay. We got a bit of a problem here. I'm not going to pursue it, but you should get the idea from these things should be cleaned up, and so that if they look right in 3D and 2D, then they'll be right when you try to build a thing in the field. Here's a bad corner. Whenever you see that white there, it's not supposed to. You're not supposed to see white. You're supposed to see a ridge cap. Yeah. When there's no ridge cap, the roof planes aren't properly joined. Now, we don't have valley caps, just ridge caps. Okay, enough of that. Now, when I came up, I tried everything. I made sure that, oh, let me show you one thing I found. You would look at it and say, well, that's no big deal. This wall's not properly aligned with this wall. That's something I noticed right away. Just pull that over and let it snap in there. Now that's properly aligned. Little things like that will add up and make your model unstable. And you're scratching your head as you probably, a lot of people I've heard new users say, oh, this software is no good. It's perfectly good when it's used properly. But you have to be methodical. Like this corner, that corner is okay. So I look for things like that, and oops, what's that? That's kind of crazy. You got a wall drawn on top of a tub. I'm going to get rid of that wall. Whatever you're trying to solve there, that's not the solution. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. So anyway, the only thing that I found that worked was kind of very simple and straightforward. The first thing I tried to do was just figure out where this material was coming from. And I would click on it and I would get a roof plane. I clicked on this here and I got the roof plane. So that indicated to me that the roof system is all messed up. And it's not, it looks okay at a glance, but it's not okay when you look at where the baselines are and so forth. And by the same, on the one hand, I said you did a good job, and on the other hand, you know, it's terrible in terms of technical correctness. And I think the roof planes as a group are what's causing this, because when this is the evidence. I click on down here, and I get a roof plane. That's totally goofy. So anyway, I finally, what I did is I used the material painter, and I got this to work. I'm going to go over to miscellaneous materials, opening no material. We'll paint that on there. That worked. That's the only thing I found that worked. And you shouldn't have to do that. It's an unusual solution. I'll grant you that. But as you become more expert in the use of this software, then you'll stop doing things that add up to goofy solutions or unusual solutions. And that's what worked. That's the only thing I found that worked that kind of brought things to where they needed to go. Other things about the roof, see there's a bad connection here. We got this line on this roof plane not matching. We use the join roofs tool and join those two lines. That should clean that up. Yeah. That's just kind of saying what's going on here, but it's partly the way you design the roof, and I don't have a problem with that. Like this baseline's in the right place, that one's in the right place. These little pips here are, you know, they just show in the middle of the baseline. I normally don't print those in construction documents, so I don't worry about them being perfect as long as they're in the right plan view location. But this one here is not correct. Even though the roofs look okay, I can look. That's not where that's supposed to be. I don't know where it is supposed to be because I didn't design the model, and I'm not going to take the time to sort all of its problems out. Yeah, that one's wrong. This baseline over here is way off. Ought to be over here on this load-bearing surface. Looks like that this one's should be, the load should be over here on the outside edge, not on the inside edge. So that one's off. But the things that are messing up this open below situation are probably these roof planes in this area. This one looks like it's okay. Yeah, its baseline's right on the outside edge where it's supposed to be. But where I would correct these, and the way you correct them, by the way, I'll just do one. We'll click on this and use point-to-point move and move the baseline from there to there. That's where it's supposed to be. Now that makes the overhang off, so we'll fix the overhang. I think you're using 18 inches. And then we'll rejoin to the adjacent roof planes. This may not come out perfect because I'm only fixing this one roof plane, and it's working in concert with others that are in the wrong place. Okay. I'm going to just use the snap method to line that overhang up. There we go. Okay, that one looks like it's in the right place, so these ought to be okay. This one's in this roof plane here is in its baseline is in the right place. So I've already fixed the open below thing, but I would, were I you, I would take the time to clean up the rest of these roof planes. Yeah, I've solved the open below thing by just cheating, basically. I took that material that was coming from the roof system for some reason and just, you know, used the material painter and got rid of it. Now, in this kind of view now, in vector views, it's probably still there because opening no material, yeah, still shows. You'd have to use this tool if you wanted to do a vector view and send a layout and print it out and just temporarily remove it. See, my solution only worked in a render camera and not in a vector camera. You have to take an additional step and remove that from the camera view. Like this roof plane, I mentioned that one's off. This one it would take some figuring out to figure out where it's supposed to go. This one here. I think that's probably this roof plane here. Let's just move it and see if yeah. It's probably not where it's supposed to go. Let me hit Control Z and put it back where it was. Okay. And little things like these corners don't match. I do this for a living, and so errors like that would stick out like a sore thumb once printed. So I've trained myself to look for that kind of stuff and handle it before it gets to the print stage, because then you just have to fix it and then reprint. Otherwise, they figure you're nuts and don't know your business. So this one's wrong, and this one's not. This one's kind of like the other one I did over here. It should be just a matter of click on the roof plane. I'll zoom in really close. Use point-to-point move to move that from where it was to where it should be. And you can see there's no overhang, so I'm going to take this edge and create some overhang. And it looks like so we want. Well, it's not parallel. That's the reason I wasn't getting an automatic dimension. That's supposed to be 18. And then rejoin these. Now it's been repositioned. Rejoin the edges. Okay. There's something bad wrong here. Let's see if the baseline heights are the same. This one's 226 and 5/16. See what this one is. It should be the same. No, see, it's not the same. We'll move the radio button over the pitch, and so it doesn't change. Let's start 226 and 5/16, I think. 226. Now let me check that. 226 and 5/16. Okay, we got them the same now. Now when I rejoin the edges, then the corners ought to also. Yeah, okay. I knew when that the baselines are different when I saw that that corner wasn't even, and it should be. But that's the kind of thing, once you get really good at this, you'll develop an eye for it. Now that's a little bit off. I'm just going to line it up manually. But when your overhangs don't work out, then the baselines are off, and if they're either off in terms of their location in plan view, or they're off in terms of baseline height. Yeah, this one's different, but this doesn't prove anything because this one ties in. Anyway, you can see the baseline height's different. And it's probably because it's mislocated here. But it's just a guess on my part. Let's see if the thing is flown into pieces or if it's what it looks like now. I can see that top ridge is off a little bit. We'll fix that in the camera view. Yeah. I forgot to do this edge here. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you did what you did because of, you've got this porch roof a little bit lower pitched and underneath these, and it's a little complicated. So I wouldn't be totally critical. I think you've done a good job. It's just not a perfect job. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do. Now, I've solved the major problem, and although it was kind of a workaround, but I wanted to make sure that you understand that although you've done a good job, it wasn't a good enough job so that it wasn't creating problems for you that seemed to be inexplicable. And I'm sorry about that, but that's just kind of the way things are. Ooh, that doesn't look good. What's that? Bit of a mismatch. Okay. I probably just need to snap that to the corner. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Well, that's it. I hope this is useful to you, and I do want to underline that I think you did really well. It's just not well enough so that you weren't kind of emptying revolvers into your feet, shooting yourself in the foot. And it doesn't seem fair. I know you put a lot of work and time into this, but life isn't fair. And this software is quite wonderful, but it's just a machine. And when it's not used as it's designed to be used, well, then you get unwanted behavior and unwanted products from it. This is just one of those instances. And I assure you, I know what I know because I did it wrong myself and then figured it out and unraveled it. So, okay, that's it. Thanks for your kind attention. And I'll put this on my YouTube channel, and we'll all live happily ever after. Thank you.